Hi, everyone. This is Jeff Kale with Keller Williams Realty and realestatecareer.com. And I am interviewing Austin here today. Austin, thanks for coming. I really appreciate you taking the time. So tell us, you got your license in 2019. You get started with a virtual brokerage. Tell us what happened when you first got started in real estate.
Yeah. So first off, thanks so much for the opportunity to talk here. I started off with a virtual brokerage, was there for about 6 months. I started my career there at the end of 2019. There were a lot of great things about that brokerage. At the end of the day, it didn't really fit my business model. A lot of people there were more focused on recruiting than selling real estate. And so there wasn't as much help as I would have liked getting my career started. And so got networked in with some good folks over at KW and talked for, gosh, I don't know, maybe 2-3 weeks. And things just made a lot of sense to come over and get some mentorship. And so here we are.
So we were chatting before recording the session. And so Austin at the virtual brokerage sold 2 homes, which, by the way, in 6 months, that I think that's a pretty decent, good start for someone just getting involved in real estate. And then you come over to KW, you get involved with the training, the Ignite, and all the mentorship. What happened to your production when you left the virtual and you came to KW?
Yeah, so it was kind of crazy. I went from 2 in 6 months, and then in my first 6 months at KW, I sold 35 more. So my first year rounded up the year at 37 total.
Did you guys hear that? 37 transactions the first year? Oh my gosh, congratulations. That is absolutely phenomenal. So how are you doing it? How did you get to that point?
Yeah, so I mean, part of it was just some of the stuff I'd been doing had just finally kind of clicked. It took a while to get rolling, but I think kind of the thing that illustrates it the best is the story of my first listing at KW, my first listing period, actually. And so at the time, I decided to commit to going to KW. I didn't even have my command logins yet. I don't even know if I had edit access to the MLS locally. Like I had nothing, but I got this listing signed my first day. And I kind of went, shoot, I've got a listing contract. What do I do with it? So I reached out to our MCA, Jessica, who's phenomenal, and said, hey, I've got a signed contract. I need help. And she really just kind of did it for me, entered it, gave me pointers and stuff, sent me some videos on how to do some of this stuff, but just took care of it for me. And that really kind of sparked an idea for me because I'm used to I was in the B2B sales world before where I just sold. I got contracts signed, I handed them off. Somebody went and made the product. And so it made me think, wow, why does real estate have to be the way it is where agents are doing everything? Why can't it be more like the B2B sales world where we do leverage things that way? And that's part of why I love KW so much is people are very business oriented rather than just solely, which it's awesome to be an agent. It's the greatest job in the world. But rather than just being agents, they want to own a business and they want people to have their lane that really excel at those things. And so part of that was just, I pretty much immediately had transaction support from the get-go. And so I could go get contracts signed. And I just thought, if I've got somebody handling all of this back office work that loves that's really good at it, that fuels them every day, there's no reason I can't go get a contract every week.
Yeah, it's so true. I remember when I first got started with KW, I'm going to tell you, my biggest fear is, and I know this might sound crazy to someone listening, is that I was going to get a sale because I would be afraid, gee, what are they going to ask me? Could they ask me, how many have you sold? All that. They never asked me any of that. And then, so you could be in fear of that. You get that sale. Guess what? You don't necessarily have to know how to write the contract. I mean, and by the way, I'm not saying don't go to the classes. You should go to the classes all, but you come in day one, you have a contract just like Austin did. You can reach out for help and someone is going to help you with that. So talk about the culture at KW that you've experienced.
Yeah, so I kind of liken it to being a part of a really good sports team in a way. It's crazy how motivating that can be, or being at the gym, really. It's crazy how motivating it is when somebody else is benching 20 pounds more than you right next to you. And now you've got that competitive edge, not that you need to be better than them or anything like that, but you're like, I can bench that much. And all of a sudden you're benching more. And it was very much that way. It was seeing other agents around me doing exactly what I wanted to do, listening in, picking up little nuggets, even just listening to somebody making their phone calls, attending some of the trainings. In Indianapolis, we've got some very creative agents that do some pretty creative things with their businesses, and just being exposed to that different way of thinking and realizing that real estate doesn't have to be sold the way it was sold yesterday. We can do things a little bit differently to get a better outcome for the consumer, and to streamline things for us as agents and business owners. So that was the biggest thing for me, was it just challenged the way I thought.
Yeah, and there's a lot to be said about having the ability to come in an office and be around that energy where you're seeing, other new people that are doing things and you go, wow, they're doing it, I can do it too. And when you're on your own, you're on your own. By the way, Austin, we didn't talk about this, but I actually started at a virtual brokerage. I did one transaction alone on my kitchen table. I had no idea what I was doing. There was no support. And I went to KW after that first transaction and sold 17 homes my first year. So
That's incredible.
yeah. So, oh my gosh, you're 37. You beat me out on that. And so congratulations. So what would you say to someone who is considering, going to a virtual brokerage? Should I go to this company, that company? What would you say to that person about KW?
It's difficult to say, because I think everyone's situation is a little bit different. And so I don't want to specifically say that KW is for everybody, because it's not. I have friends at other brokerages that have phenomenal setups for what they want to do. So what I would say is, if you're somebody that really wants to get more out of real estate than just transaction after transaction, if you want to build a business, build an amazing client experience, and really build a life by design, I think KW is a place where you're just surrounded by so many people that have done that before you, and you're kind of standing on the shoulders of giants that way. So depending on what you want to do with real estate, if that's something that sounds alluring to you, to be able to live life the way you want to be able to create an amazing client experience, and to build a business bigger than you ever would imagine, I would at least look at KW, network, and talk with the people local to you, because every KW office is a little bit different. But at least talk with those people, at least interview them, find out what their experience is, and then talk to some of the newer agents and get their experience as well.
Yeah, I love it. That's, it's so true. And, like you said, KW is not for everyone. Hey, some people are okay doing it on their own, and that's okay. That's, then, you can go to a virtual brokerage. But, for me and for you, we want to be part of something bigger. And like you said, we are standing on the shoulders of giants. So very well said. So Austin is in Indianapolis. If you have any referrals, please reach out to Austin. I'm going to make sure that you get his information. And thank you so much for being willing to do this.
Yeah, thank you.